Well, good evening. Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. I'm not going to put our sponsor on here tonight because I don't want to use this, what I'm going to share with you tonight, for any commercial purposes. This is too serious. Women especially. This is for you all and for anybody who knows and loves a woman who doesn't want anything to happen to them. I'm going to read the story and then I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Before I get into this, I'd let you know that I've taught women's self-defense for, 30, 35 years, things like that. When I explain to women the brutality of many attacks and the ferocity with which they need to fight immediately, it turns a lot of women off. A lot of women just get, ooh, icky. I know none of you all here, but like I started to say, and maybe the woman behind you might feel that way. But I get very graphic when I teach women's self-defense because horrible things can happen to women when they are abducted. When they are attacked, certainly, but when they are abducted, it gets even worse. We have a story. It just happened this morning down around Memphis, and I just saw this on Fox News. I'm going to read the article to you, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what you ought to do about it. And I don't mince words on this. Tennessee woman abducted, forced into SUV while running in Memphis, police say. And with information, and woman's name is Eliza Fletcher. Okay, let's go on with this. A Tennessee woman was forced into a vehicle, and I will, as always, I'll put this article over on the Patreon channel if you'd like to read it and listen to the report yourself, or if you want to share it with somebody. Okay, a Tennessee woman was forced into a vehicle and abducted while out for a run in Memphis early Friday morning, police said. Eliza Fletcher, 35, was running just before 4:30 a.m. Friday. Now, a lot of people seem to think that early in the morning is a safe time because bad guys aren't up, or they feel it's their time, it's their privacy. It's dark at 4:30 a.m. and you don't have a lot of traffic around. And one things that criminals like, and particularly those who commit what we call crimes against persons, which includes rape and assaults and abductions, they like dark, and they like when not a lot of people are around. So this woman was out there running at 4:30 in the morning this morning. She was in the area of 3800 block of Central Avenue. I have no idea. I don't know Memphis. Near the University of Memphis when she was abducted and forced into a mid-sized dark-colored SUV, Memphis Police Department said. Fletcher, who was identified by Fox 13 Memphis as a local teacher who was known to jog in the area. Okay, that's another thing. She's known to jog. Many of these things occur after somebody has been watching and following. If you do the same thing, being a woman makes you a target. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Being a woman makes you a target. From the moment you were born, you become a target for predators. And refusing to accept that, refusing to acknowledge that, or living life as if that's not true serves no purpose but to predispose you towards victimhood. Again, I know I'm not speaking to most of you here, so when I say you, please don't take that personally. I'm talking to any woman who comes across this, and this is the way that I speak to my classes. When I have 100 women out there in a big gym, I say you, because it's personal. And I'll tell you something else I'll slide in here. Excuse me. I don't teach defensive tactics, and I don't teach self-defense for women like most people do. One of the things that people try to do is they'll come on to act extremely professional by starting to throw out figures and saying that X percentage of women are attacked or the victims of sexual assault. And then they'll go through a bunch of statistics. One of the first things that I say is I have no idea what percentage of women are attacked, and I don't care a bit. And people will say, oh my gosh, you don't care. No, it's not that I don't care about the women, but it doesn't matter what percentage. What matters is it happens to 100% of the women it happens to. And it affects their lives for the rest of their lives, however long that may be. It may not be very long, but even if it is, if somehow they come out the other end of the attack or the abduction alive, they are never the same. The time to deal with that is at the time of the attempted abduction, and the time to prepare for that is when before you're leaving the house and you're preparing to deal, because that should always be in the back of your mind. Somebody may try to grab me on this run or on this trip to the grocery store, something like it. It should always be in somebody's mind, and it doesn't mean that you live in fear. You live aware and you live prepared. That's what this is about. So that's what I say. And it doesn't just affect that person, as bad as that is. It affects their entire family, people they know, their children. Okay? Let me get back to this, but I wanted to make that because people don't take this as seriously as they should. They'll say, well, I don't like to carry because where do I carry a gun? And I don't like to carry it when I'm jogging. We're going to get to that at the end of this. So, Eliza Fletcher, 35, was running just before 4:30 a.m. Friday, was in the area. We've already said that. Fletcher, who was identified by Fox 13 Memphis as a local teacher known to jog in the area, was described as being 5'6", 137 pounds, with brown hair and green eyes. She had her hair in a bun, was wearing a pink top and purple shorts. Let me go down here, and it has some video and some photos of her running. A couple of pictures of the suspect vehicle, if you want to see that. Upon arriving at the scene, officers were advised that a female was jogging in the area at approximately 4:20 a.m. when an unknown individual approached her, police said. The female was reportedly forced into an SUV and taken from the scene. Let me stop. Well, I'll go on for just a second. Police have located some of her personal belongings, but are still searching for the missing woman. Investigators have only described her suspected abductor as being a male. Authorities released pictures. Okay. Let's see here. So Fletcher works as an educator with St. Mary's Episcopal School. And head of school Albert Throckmorton wrote that Fletcher, excuse me, I'm sorry, in a letter to the students on Friday, he said, Fletcher, who was identified as a JK teacher, has been reported kidnapped early this morning. We joined Fletcher and Welford families in praying for Liza's safety. We have not told our younger students about Mrs. Fletcher. We are supporting the older students as they learn of this news. And then it's got more information down here with her picture and a couple of pictures of the suspect vehicle. The FBI and Tennessee Bureau of Investigation are reportedly assisting with the search. Neither the FBI nor Memphis Police Department immediately responded to Fox News. That tells me a couple of things. Now, that's not necessarily, sometimes, not always. This could be somebody that they know. It could be a husband or an ex-husband or a boyfriend, things like that. Since the FBI is involved, I tend to think that's probably not the case, but, you know, we can't be sure. Here's the situation. And of course, our prayer should be with this woman that she is found safe, you know, safe, meaning alive. She'll never be the same after this. And her life it'll take a lot for her to come through this, and she'll never get all the way through it. She'll be carrying it for the rest of her life if she's alive. Okay, look. Defending yourself is not supposed to be a comfortable situation. A person has an initial decision to make. They have several. Let me take you through the decisions. And I know that I'm speaking a little directly here, but when I speak to groups, I speak directly. Your first decision is the world a safe place? Not do you want it to be a safe place, not do you wish it were a safe place. Is the world a safe place? And the answer is, often it is, but often it's not, okay? So what does that come down to? It's not, okay? Could something happen to you? Something can happen to anyone, anytime, anywhere. That means it could happen to you, okay? If something happens to you, should you try to defend yourself? You make that decision, okay? I can't imagine anyone saying, no, I don't want to defend myself. I just want to allow myself to be abducted and killed and all that, and my children grow up knowing that and all that. So I'm assuming that there's nobody out there who would take that choice. So the choice that we've made there is, yes, I should defend myself, okay? What am I able to defend myself, okay? There's some tough women out there. My wife's a tough woman. She says, don't you think I can don't you think I can take care of myself? She's walking out the door now to get the pizza, to which I said, not against a determined man you can't, no matter how tough you are. That's why she has a gun.
But what about nowadays men?
She says, what about nowadays men? Well, you may not be lucky enough to get one of the weenie millennials, but they don't attack women anyway because they're in mommy's basement playing with their Atari or whatever it is, right? Okay. Okay? Thanks for participating. But that's the truth. She's tough. But women, ladies, yeah, you can whip some of these men today. But for the most part, those aren't the kind out abducting women. Okay? These people are predators, and not only are they physically stronger than you, they have something wrong up here. Okay? And if you don't, you're not going to be able to fight on the same level that they do, because you won't go to that animalistic ferocity that you need to in time. Now, you may have seen or heard me on previous videos talking about attack situations. Okay? When you are attacked, you have three enemies: confusion, fear, and the attacker. Usually what happens when a person who is not used to being attacked, which is most people, they're confused. Oh no, go. What's happening? This can't be happening. It can't be happening to me. It can't be happening now. And then when they realize that their confusion has put them in a situation that they're coming out badly in the situation, that's when fear sets in. And they can freeze at any moment along that spectrum of confusion to fear. And then they have the attacker itself. And while they are frozen, that attacker is consolidating their control over you. Okay? Now here's where being ready, physical training, mental training, visualization training, being ready and understanding that attacks can happen anywhere, anytime, to anyone, that you be ready. That will help you get through the confusion and the fear. Then you just have the attacker to deal with. What should you carry? I have seen all of the silly things that are given women to protect themselves with. Okay? I've seen all the cute little things, the keychains and all that are sold in pretty colors that women buy, and then they feel as if they can defend themselves. Those are stupid. Those are next to useless. I've heard all the things, the standard, oh yeah, I went to a self-defense for women class and this guy taught us how to put our keys between our fingers. That's the stupidest thing you can do. You want to prove it to yourself? Put your keys between your fingers. First off, if I'm standing 10 feet away from you, try to get your keys between your fingers before I get you by the neck. Okay? Ain't gonna happen. Well, I'll be running when I do it. No, okay. Then let me chase you. I'll chase you for 50 feet before I finally catch you, okay? And I'll give you that time to try to get your keys between your fingers. Try it, okay? Well, I'll walk around with my keys between my fingers all the time whenever I walk to my car. First thing, you won't. Secondly, here, put your keys between your fingers and then find something that you can punch that you don't care about, and then go over and punch it and see what happens to those keys. First off, you're not going to make contact because guess what? The attacker is thinking about that. He's thinking about a response. He has already grabbed you. He is doing things. He is jacking you around. You are not going to get a shot on him. Okay. And that's if you see it coming. Well, should I carry an? I'll tell you. Well, I'm not going to say it in this, but there is something that I do give. Okay, I'll tell you because I shouldn't say that and not tell you. What I used to give students of mine and all the women, I said, first thing you do is go down to the grocery store and for about $1, you can buy one of those old can openers, one with a sharp end on it, right? Okay, that's right. That you open the old cans with. People don't use them anymore because you don't need it. Back in the old day, we had steel cans and we had to use those to open our pop and beer cans. Get one of those, take it home, sharpen that thing up. Just use a file or a grinding stone or whatever, sharpen that thing up. And all of them have a little hole on the other end. Put that on your keychain. Anytime you're walking around, this is if you don't carry a gun, which if you're not carrying a gun, why not? But this is a step if you don't have a gun. When you're walking, when you leave your office, your home, whatever like that, and you're walking to someplace, hopefully you're not jogging at 4:30 in the morning. Just put that right along, like if this were it, just put it right inside your finger like that. Okay, right inside your finger. Hold on like that. And if a guy tries to grab you, don't try to jerk away from him. Step right into him like you're going to get him a big old kiss. You slide that hand up and you get it right to his cheek or his throat and you just rip that as hard as you can. And then you rip it again and again and again. You keep going while he's going, oh God. See, all of a sudden, and if you can get the eye, that's even better. All of a sudden, when people are bleeding and hurting, they're more interested in themselves than they are in you. Well, I'll just make him mad. Oh, okay. Well, just go ahead and do whatever he wants to with you then, okay? No, keep on ripping. Rip anything that you can find. If it's summertime and he's wearing a t-shirt, you can rip the back of his arm, the front of his arm, his chest, his throat, his face, all around. If you go crazy, like I've said before, have you ever tried to control a 3-year-old who is going stark raving nuts? Okay. Well, how about a 137-pound woman who is a runner, 5'6", who is going stark raving nuts with something sharp in her hand? Okay. Or any of you out there. Do it. You have to respond. You have to be ferocious. Now, what's the absolute best thing you can carry is a gun. And when you carry a gun, you carry a gun. Now, the reason that some people sometimes carry is because they never get used to it. They sometimes carry because it's uncomfortable. Well, it's uncomfortable. Anything's uncomfortable when you're not used to it. The trick is carry all the time, and then you become used to it, and it's no longer uncomfortable. I'll tell you a stupid story. I don't have time on this one, but I'm going to do it maybe on Patreon, about a big guy who was such a disappointment. He's one of the new feminized men that didn't want to carry a gun because it was too heavy. You don't have to carry a big gun, okay? Now, if you've watched me any time at all, I say never carry anything smaller than a .40 caliber. And if you will carry a 9mm, at least carry that. But you can get almost every, well, not every small gun comes in .40, but you can get pretty low. Kelly's gun is a Springfield Armory XD subcompact. It's pretty small, but it carries a nice .40 caliber round in it, a bunch of them. Okay, you can dress, but I can't wear it if I'm in my running shorts and my little halter top. Why not? You know, they make things called belly bands. Just put it around your stomach, stick your gun in there, and then be aware. Because I bet you that she wasn't just running along and this SUV stopped and in a nanosecond grabbed her and stuck her in the SUV. Okay, it's not what happened. She saw it slowing down. If she was aware, if she wasn't wearing those stupid earbuds, if she wasn't listening to music, and I don't know if she was or not, if she wasn't listening to her lesson plan, if she wasn't listening to one of these motivational speakers telling her, get up at 4 in the morning and, blah, blah, blah. Your senses should be full out all the time. She should have heard that vehicle if it was coming from behind. She should have known that it was coming from behind. And you know what? If you've got a vehicle coming from behind, guess what? Practice running backwards. Turn around so you're facing that vehicle as it's coming towards you. Practice running backwards. I used to do it all the time. Just kind of balances things out. Practice running backwards while you're looking at that car. If that car slows and stops getting down, guess what? Your hand is right on your gun right now. You don't wait until to see if they stop and if they're asking for directions. Okay? You don't say, oh, maybe it's an old friend that I haven't seen for a while and they got a new car. You don't do that. Your hand goes immediately to your gun. If a guy steps out of that car, you pull that gun. And if he starts to come towards you, because he can ask you anything he wants to from way over there where he stopped his vehicle, okay? And over there, he can ask, if he needs to ask you something or say something, directions. I lost my puppy. Have you seen a puppy? Would you like some candy? Okay. Any business he's got with you, he can conduct from over there. If he starts walking towards you, that gun comes up. If you want to say, and I know people are going to say, well, you can get it, you can get charged for that. Okay. Then do this. Stay there. Don't come near me. Stay where you are. Don't take another step if you haven't pulled your gun yet. Okay? And then if they keep coming, okay, that is jeopardy. Now you pull your weapon. Which would you rather face? I'm not a big believer in this stupid thing. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6, although I would. What would you rather face? Somebody, the police or a prosecutor or somebody said, well, ma'am, why did you pull your gun? Which you can say, I was in fear for my life. He came up, he was acting in a threatening way. Or would you rather end up in an SUV? Or like a woman I just put in the trunk of a car. I just put that up over on Integrative Preparedness Patreon. A woman, 2 guys came up, 47-year-old mother, getting off her job cleaning. Guys came up, pointed a gun at her, get in the trunk. They drove her someplace else and then shot her to death through the trunk. What have I said? Never allow yourself to be taken to a secondary location. You fight it out where the contact is made. Now, if you don't have a belly band, guess what? I've told people to do this. Get a big, thick ace bandage. Wrap it around your waist. Stick your gun in it. You can jog just fine. Ladies, and just like so many men who won't take responsibility for their own safety, your safety is in your hands. It's not only your right to defend yourself, it's your responsibility. The police can't, and they won't because they can't, because they're not there. You can't get a cop to come out and jog with you every morning. So your safety is in your hands. And what happens, it's the old normalcy bias, right? Well, nothing's ever happened to me before, so I guess nothing ever will. Well, this is a safe area. I know people in the hood that think their block is safe. You go down there, I'll guarantee you, tonight there's going to be at least one murder in Kansas City. Probably more than one. And if they interview the people on the block where it happened, you know what they're going to say? They'll say, well, this is a nice neighborhood. This is nothing, yeah. It ain't safe. It's not a safe neighborhood. It's not a safe world. And I don't know how I can make it any clearer than that. So ladies, I care about you. That's the reason that I used to teach these classes. A certain percentage of women would take my advice. A big percentage just thought it was kind of cool. And what they wanted to learn was some kind of flippy-dippy, being able to protect themselves without hurting the bad guy. Okay, that doesn't happen. Or to go home and show their boyfriend or husband, ooh, look, I was showing how to, get out of a bear hug or something like that. And so he grabs her, but they don't respond with the ferocity that I have explained. And so they can't get away because they don't make that mental leap that I have to become an animal if I'm going to survive an attack by an animal. Does all that make sense? I hope that it does. I hope that it helps some of you out there to put this into the realm of realism, so that what has happened to this poor woman won't happen to you. And I hope that she somehow gets back. Share this with your daughters. Share this with your friends. Okay? Go get some training somewhere if you think you need it. And I don't mean some corner strip mall martial arts school where the guy, walks around with 29 gold bars on his black belt and calls himself Grandmaster. I mean somebody who can teach you down and dirty street fighting survival to where you're using everything from a gun to your nails to your teeth. And hands and feet and elbows and knees and your head and anything you can grab, because you only have one chance to survive, and that is the moment of contact. Okay? I hope that's been helpful. I will end this with the tag that we always end with, and that is, we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. Your preparation for this is first to acknowledge and accept that it's a reality in our world. It could happen to you, and it could happen anywhere and at any time. And then to prepare yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally to be able to deal with it if and when it happens. You all have a safe night. Make your life safe from here on out. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.